Hi there and welcome back to Dawson Scouser's Garage. It's been a while. We've had a number of setbacks on the channel. I've been really busy at work, lots of websites to build and things to do before Christmas. It is only mid-October now, but the work is really piling up. Another issue is that I had a hard drive with all the footage on, and I had a number of videos work in progress, and that got corrupted. So I managed to save some footage. You may remember from some of the other update videos that I last gave you an update when we were just about to head to the Brecon Beacons. I was a little bit reticent in terms of taking the Honda because the weather was going to be absolutely awful. I'm not sure if the update actually included that, but it chucked it down all weekend pretty much. And I just started to kind of diagnose a little engine issue, which has since got a lot worse, but more on that later. But yeah, we took the van, we stayed in a lovely Airbnb at the north of the Brecon Beacons and tackled some driving roads and did some sightseeing, went to see some show caves and some waterfalls, which was spectacular because it had rained so much. So we got some really nice photos there, some good video footage, and came back and loaded it all onto that hard drive, and it got corrupted, so we've lost a lot of footage. Then we went over to Canada for my girlfriend's cousin's wedding, and we did a bit of filming over there. Attached the GoPro over to, because you're allowed to drive over there if the vehicle's got insurance, then anyone with a valid driving licence, international or not, can drive that car. So I did a bit of driving, and yeah, we attached it to a big pickup truck as well, which was good fun. So we got a little bit of footage on that. I'm still trying to work out what form that video will take. Got a little bit of me talking about driving in Canada and the vehicles that are on the road and that sort of thing. Did see quite a few Honda S2000s over there. I got rather excited when I saw the first one, which was a really kind of highly tuned, low down to the ground, loud one that was on the highway in the evening. I didn't stand a chance of getting a picture of that. The only one I did take a picture of was the yellow one. That was Revelstoke, which is up on my Instagram account, which is Yellow Honda S2000, so if you want to go and check that out. But yeah, it seems that that's a fairly popular car over in Canada. There's a little bit of footage there. I'll see if I put together a video on that. There'll be something, but it might not be for a little while. I still have the footage, luckily, of the reunion drive of the Triumph Spitfire. So my girlfriend's dad is now in ownership and looking after a 1972, I think. Don't quote me on that. I keep losing track of all the facts. An old Triumph Spitfire, Mark IV, which has been in the family, their family, for over 40 years now. So the previous owner came down from London and drove that, and we hooked up the cameras, and I did a little interview with him. I'm yet to drive the car myself. I've driven it as a test, but I haven't actually filmed it, so there will be that coming, and hopefully that will be either this weekend or next, depending on the weather. So it's mid-October now. Obviously it's a convertible British sports car. We don't want it on the road when it's raining or in the winter when there's salt on the roads, because it will rust just like that. So that is still to come. But the Honda at the moment is quite poorly. You may recall in some of the update videos that I was starting to hear a kind of ticking noise. I thought it was from the gearbox. I had a little look underneath. I was suspecting it might have been the heat shield that was loose. Yeah, it can do now. See. Good. So yeah, just keep it around 2.5, 3. I took it to my mechanic, Ryan Bennett, over at Bennett's Mechanical Services in Solway Ash. If you're local to West Dorset, East Devon, South Somerset, highly recommend him. He's sorted me out loads and loads of times for the last 6 or 7 years that I've been driving with all my cars. He's done all the work for me. But yeah, he kind of heard a bottom end knock, suspected that, and tore down the engine and found that the my bearings on the engine on cylinder 4 was screwed, basically. Very little of it left. I'm not sure if it's spun the bearing or not, but there's evidence of that happening in the past as well. So it's obviously been an issue with the engine which has been bodged and not actually properly fixed, which is a bit of a shame and a bit of an issue. But at least I found it at the end of summer and not the start of summer. So now it can go away for the winter and it can have all the work done to it. Again, I'll talk about that more in a little bit. The crankshaft has obviously been machined down before. Ryan, my mechanic, was telling me that you go in increments of, very small increments of, say, 0.1 of a millimetre. So if the scoring starts to happen from the bearings, you take the bearing off, replace it, machine down the crankshaft to a very small amount and fix the problem that's causing those bearings to wear out. It could be low oil pressure or any number of things, but we suspect at the moment it's low oil pressure. But yeah, you reassemble it and everything should be fine. It shouldn't keep on happening, which does seem to have happened. You go in increments of 0.1 of a millimetre, so 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, by which point the crankshaft is pretty much unusable because you've taken so much of the metal off. Mine's at 0.6 at the moment, which is not great. I'm still not 100% sure about how all this stuff works, and my mechanic's having to explain it to me in very simple terms. I've got a Honda S2000 repair manual which I found on the internet, and that goes through the kind of the technical drawings of all the engine bits and bobs, which is quite interesting if you're into that sort of thing. But the crankshaft is run-eyed, basically. I'm weighing up my options. You could get a new crankshaft. Not many available, if any available, in the UK. So you have to import it from Japan. There's someone on eBay that's selling a brand new one for £1,200, plus £200 postage, plus import duties. So that's gonna be quite expensive for a brand new one. There is at the moment one that's ending tomorrow afternoon, which is not in perfect condition. That has spun a bearing, but it's never been touched before that, so it hasn't been machined down before. And it's on for a fraction of that. So hopefully if I get hold of that, take it to a machine shop and get that issue fixed. Again, if somebody can help out in the comments with this, that'll be really, really appreciative. It is only on the one cylinder that there's that issue. So can you machine down just the one cylinder on the crankshaft and put an oversized bearing on just that one cylinder, or do you have to do it across all of them? I assume that it would throw it out of balance if there was the crankshaft with, say, cylinder 4 has got more machined down than 3, 2 and 1. But I'm not sure. If anyone can help out in the comments, I'd be really appreciative of that. But yeah, hopefully getting that. I've got a few other parts. I've got a new oil pump, or practically new oil pump. It's done 1,000 miles. I'm looking for a set of bearings which are going to hold up, maybe some forged internals. I don't know what sort of damage that has done throughout the engine, so Ryan, my mechanic, has recommended take the top off, have a look at the have a look at everything, basically do a full strip down of the engine, just make sure everything is working as it should be, and obviously check for any damage, replace any damaged parts, and then fix the issue that's actually causing those bearings to wear out. So potentially looking at forged conrods, weighing up all the options at the moment. The other option is to get a refurbished engine. Somebody was selling a yellow JDM import S2000 with not that many miles on it, probably the equivalent of 60,000. It was on 100,000 kilometres and it had done a couple of thousand miles over in the UK. Huge side damage to it, so I'm not entirely sure the engine was intact. That was on eBay. Last time I looked, before it ended, it was on £3,500. So that's another option, is to buy a whole new engine, but it would have to be JDM spec. I don't want to be putting in a European domestic market engine into a JDM import S2000. It just doesn't make sense. You can put an F22 engine, the 2.2 litre as well, but I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the idea that it only goes up to 8,000 RPM as opposed to 9,000 RPM. It It's technically probably a better engine, more usable every day, but I'd like to stick with the F20C and a JDM import, JDM spec F20C with the higher compression ratio. I don't know what implications it has with all the ancillaries, all the kind of the ECU stuff, if I stick in a European engine into a JDM car. So I don't really want to be doing that. Ideally, I want to strip down my engine, rebuild it, and it'd be fine, because I've had no problems with it, and it's been good right up until now. Currently in talks and conversations with the previous owner, so Jack at JDM Regiment. He's keen to get his hands back on the S2000 again. He was the previous owner for 4 years. He wants to be working on the car again. Doing an engine rebuild, that's standard, get it all sorted, absolutely fixed as best as possible. Maybe throw in some forged parts, as I mentioned, forged conrods, just to give it a little bit of extra strength, more longevity for the engine to last a little bit longer. But it's great to have this opportunity now to really work on the car over the winter, make sure everything's absolutely perfect for the spring and the summer of 2020. So there won't be that much Honda content on the channel. That being said, I'll still, when I can, I'll still try and pop to the workshop wherever it's been being worked on, and do some little update videos on that. Maybe go into some kind of technical, delving deep into the engine and shove a GoPro in and show you what is happening, what the updates are. That's all down to the amount of time that I've got. JDM Regiment's over in Wellington, which is about an hour's drive from me. If of course he has the time and still wants to do the engine rebuild, so we shall see. It's all up in the air at the moment. But yeah, again, apologies for the lack of videos. There are some more coming onto the channel now. I just need to get back into the swing of things. We are heading to the Peak District in about a week and a half's time. So the last of the half-term weekends, we're heading up there, and we're going to be camping in the van in here. We've got a nice little campsite in the middle of the Peak District, and I'll be tackling some mountain roads, and we'll be doing some sightseeing, hopefully bring you some video content from there. I say work is pretty full on at the moment, so I want to have time to enjoy the holiday as well as making videos, but we'll see. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Please comment if you can share any insights or advice about the engine rebuild that's coming up. Please like the video, subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. Last time I checked, I was on around about 45 subscribers, and I haven't uploaded any videos since, and now I'm on 60. So thank you very much for that. I shall endeavour to keep going over the winter while the Honda is having some work done to it. But I shall hopefully see you not in 2 months' time, but in a video coming